Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Prime Tennis YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having a great week. Um, Today I just want to look at Roger Federer's forehand. Typically, you're told you shouldn't copy Roger's forehand. He's in a league above everyone, a class of his own. But today we're just going to be looking at his tracking arm, which is something that everybody does well, but I feel like it's very easy to see it with Federer. I think Carlos also would have been a very good person to look at with that. Basically all the players do it. It doesn't really matter who you look at, but today we're looking at Roger, seeing how he does it. I think the tracking arm is huge. I think it makes a huge difference in your game. It helps you with your rhythm, your spacing, your timing, so we're just going to be looking at that today. All right, so let's get into it. So you have a high take back. There you go. It's so smooth the way he hits the ball. Yeah, this is just, some practice. He's not going full out, but I think that helps to highlight what we're looking on here. So here you see first, as soon as he takes the racket back, his elbow, extends out to the side. First off, that's rotation right there. This is a very key movement. I think a lot of players, when they're beginning, if your coach or your training doesn't emphasize the rotation, then you miss this part, which is huge, right? So you want to get this rotation here. You want to bring this shoulder in front of you, essentially. A lot of people will take the racket back, sure, but if you don't rotate your shoulders over, then you miss that kind of that coiling, which adds a lot of power to your swing. So that's the first thing with this non-dominant arm, right? You bring it out, you extend it to the side, and that gives you your rotation. You can keep it bent or whatever. Plenty of people do it differently, but you want to make sure you have that rotation. And then this next part is the swing, right? So his racket here drops, obviously, but with his non-dominant hand, he's just tracking the ball. It's kind of like his non-dominant hand swings before he does, right? It goes through the motion, it leads the way, and then the other arm kind of like, okay, that's the path I need to follow. Okay, got it. And it'll kind of follow a similar route, right? And then this also, what it helps with is tracking, right? You can see how after he does the rotation, he makes his non-dominant arm point towards the ball as it's coming towards him. And then as he's getting ready to swing, that arm kind of gets out of the way, right? But what it helps with is it kind of serves as like a reference point, like a measuring distance. Imagine like your non-dominant arm is a ruler, right? And so you're using that arm to measure the distance between you and the ball. So that helps you with your spacing, Obviously, if you're too close to the ball, you get jammed, you can't hit your shot right. If you're too far from the ball, then you just can't hit it right. So this helps with spacing, helps it so that you can stay consistent with your spacing. That way you're always hitting the ball in the same spot, the same distance away from your body, every single shot, every single time, right? Which is the goal. That's the thing with tennis, you always want to try to be consistent, right? And so this helps a lot. This will help you to find your rhythm as well. When you're consistently getting that distance and you're consistently getting that timing, then that helps you. It makes you feel better, helps you play better, just boosts your overall game, right? And a lot of times what I'll notice is that one thing leads to another thing, right? You start feeling good about your strokes, right? And then you start feeling good about your movement, right? and you start feeling good about your shots, your serves get better, your volleys get better, your overheads get better, and then, it's kind of like a domino effect until the point where you're just locked in, completely. And, with that focus, you're able to play at a new level, right? But it starts with the simple things. It's usually mainly the feet. You get your footwork down and everything kind of falls into place. But with this helps your spacing. It lets you know where you need to position yourself. Where do your feet need to be? Where does your racket need to be, right? Just from this simple thing. So then he points out in front of him, like I said, this hand kind of guides, paves the way for his shot. And then it gets out of the way. He pulls it back. He pulls his left hand back, or non-dominant hand back, as the right one gets slingshotted forward, essentially. That's where that rotation comes in. So you saw before here how his shoulders are facing to his right. And by the time he hits the ball, he extends this in front of him. His racket follows through, goes in front of him as well. Now his shoulders go from facing his right side to facing straight. And that's the rotation. The left shoulder pulls back, the right shoulder goes forward and throws the racket in that direction. And that gives you a lot of power. And then obviously there's the follow through. He brings it around, holds it for a little bit, and then brings it back to typically his ready position. With the follow through too, you also want to try and be consistent there too, because it really makes a difference for, like what I was saying before, the consistency. Consistency is huge in tennis. It's all a matter of who can put more balls in the court, for the longest amount of time, right? So when you do small things like this to boost your consistency, to reduce unforced errors, and to help you, it's not just unforced errors, but when you're in a tough situation, consistency in these things can really make a difference. It's something that you can rely on. Like, even though I'm hitting a tough shot, I know, there's a motion that I can do to get this shot in, right? So here from a different angle, he takes the racket back, does the unit turn, drops the racket, brings the left hand forward, right hand follows, contact in front, and follow through. And you see, the thing also with the rotation is that it also goes a little bit, it doesn't just end like where I said before, just, where the point of contact is, right? Obviously, his chest is now facing forward, but after the shot, he continues to turn to where now his right shoulder is almost facing the net, right? That's very good rotation. Your shot doesn't just stop at point of contact, follows through the shot. And you see that better on this next one. Alright, the rotation, the take back with the rotation. Extend the left arm while you drop the right arm. And then the left arm gauges the distance. And then the right arm swings. And then you follow through. And as you follow through, you complete the rotation. So I really hope that you guys get what I'm getting at here. I think this is very important to implement into your games, into your technique. It can make a difference. Like I said, timing, spacing, rhythm, all of that is very huge in tennis, and small things like this can, really make a big impact, bigger impact than you realize. So I hope you guys take my advice if you need it. And like I said before, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.